So as everyone may be aware, the Philadelphia Eagles and Washington football team are not playing today on Sunday. Their game has been pushed back till Tuesday at 7 p.m. Now, I'm gonna chime in. I've had some time to listen to hear what everyone's thoughts are, just throughout the media, fan base, some other people, before I even speak on this. Because I'll tell you, I'm happy about the fact that we're going to be able to play Washington at their best. I am happy about that. I don't want to win a game knowing my opponent is at 50%. I want to beat them at their best, just like I'm sure Washington want to beat us at our best. And for me, it's going to be nice to be able to see that happen. You're going to have both teams possibly at their best. Today we just found out Quez Watkins was removed from the COVID list, so that's going to help the Eagles right there. And more players from Washington have been removed from their COVID list. So it's good that both teams are going to be at their best when they play on Tuesday. That's the positive, and that part I am happy for. My biggest issue right now has to do with the fact of what-ifs right now. What if, say, Eagles play Washington, let's say for argument's sake, Eagles win that game, hypothetically, whether they win or lose. They play the game, and now all of a sudden, on Wednesday and Thursday, the Eagles coaching staff and their medical personnel are going through the players, and they find out the Eagles now have an outbreak of COVID. So if the Eagles have an outbreak right now after their game, we know where it came from. It's from Washington, and I don't want to sound like I'm indicting Washington for anything. From what it appears, they've done nothing wrong. It's just an unfortunate situation. I don't want to blame Washington for anything. It's not their fault this happened. It's life. It's a shame. It happens. But hypothetically speaking, you're playing against a team who's been sick. You're probably going to catch what they had. So the situation becomes the Eagles are now all sick, and now there's a chance that the NFL has basically came out and said, well, we're not going to be changing any more games. Well, first off, you've already changed it once. So if you changed it once, you're probably going to change it again. So don't give me this crap that you won't change it again. And if the NFL doesn't change it again, well then, the hell's the matter with you? You went ahead and you changed the rules for certain teams, and this isn't just the Eagles and Washington. I know the Browns-Raiders game got moved, and I believe it's the Rams game is the other one that's got moved as well. So there's other teams dealing with the same issue. But you went ahead and changed it for one team. Why would you not change it for the other team as well? Because you just forced the Eagles to go into a situation where the Eagles have done nothing wrong. They've done everything correct. They followed all the procedures. They did everything right. And now it kind of seems like the Eagles are the ones who are probably going to get punished for it. I mean, going down this rabbit hole, if the Eagles have a COVID outbreak and they can't field a team on Sunday, the NFL may force the Eagles to forfeit. And for the Eagles, it's like, well, wait a minute. We just had to move our game that was originally scheduled last Sunday to be played on a Tuesday to play a team who supposedly may or may not be healthy or safe to play. And now we're forced to forfeit because you made us play a game. So this whole idea that the NFL is all for players, well, we care about player safety. We want our players. Shut the hell up, NFL. I don't want to hear another word about you guys and player safety, because it's beyond a reasonable doubt that y'all don't give a damn about player safety. You care about your money. You care about your bottom line. The fact of the matter is, you didn't want these games getting forfeited. That's the thing. You would have lost a ton of money in revenue, not just from fans not being able to show up, but TV contract revenue as well. You would have lost a lot of money over 3 games. And if you would have really cared about player safety, you would have done something about it. Now, I'm not saying Washington should have been forced to forfeit the game. In my personal opinion, I would have let the game play as is. I would have said, hey, it's any given Sunday, anything can happen. And as we saw on Saturday, quite a few Washington players were removed from the COVID list. So they got a nice chunk of their players back, and some of them were big-name players like Montez Sweat, John Allen, and all those guys. So Washington would have had some good reinforcements coming into this game. Yeah, they would have still been hurting, but it would have been better than what it could have been. But my biggest fear is that the Eagles get screwed on this. And they get screwed for not doing anything wrong. They followed everything correctly. They did what they were supposed to. Now their game gets moved to accommodate somebody else. And it's a shame. It's a real shame. This is an unfortunate situation. But the NFL has decided to put their bottom dollar in front of player safety. And look, when they came out with these COVID rules, I didn't have this channel back then when this happened, but my opinion back then was when the NFL came out with these COVID rules and said, if unvaxxed players are this, we treat them like this, and vaxxed players are this, so we treat them like that. If I was the NFLPA and I was the NFL players, I would have said, no, that's bullshit, that's discrimination. You can't treat people differently based on one thing or another. It's not fair, it's not right, and the NFL players honestly should have striked over it. They really should have. And they blew it. The NFLPA blew it, and so did the players. They blew it on that. And now they're pissed off right now because games are getting moved around, the rules are changing. Well, guys, guess what? This is what the NFL does. And you guys allowed it. If you would have stood up then and said, no, screw you, NFL, we're striking over this because it's not fair, they would have been looking out for their brothers, they would have been looking out for all their guys, and they could have stopped it immediately. They could have done something then because the NFL would have been in a rock and a hard place. But they didn't do it. So here we are today. What happens if the Eagles are forced to forfeit next week? What happens? The Eagles season gets basically screwed over because they were forced to accommodate for another team. And that's something that I don't like. It's a very difficult situation. I understand that. I got no hate or blame on Washington for it because they didn't do anything wrong either. It just happened to be on them. What can you do? So I'm not going to hate Washington for it, but I'm going to put all my hate and issues with the NFLP and the NFL. They dropped the ball. They should be the ones paying for this, not the Eagles, not Washington, not the actual NFL players. It should be the NFL and the NFLPA. They're the ones to blame. They're the ones who've dropped this ball on multiple occasions. And here we are today. So, Eagles game on Tuesday. I typically work on Tuesday, so I will try as quickly to get a review up I can as possible, but it most likely won't be up till Wednesday. And with that, I'll thank you all for listening to the Process YouTube channel. If you like what I got to say, please hit the like button. If not, or if you got something else, you got a different opinion, please say so in the comment section below. With that, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.